5 reasons not to trust Ubisoft. Reason number 1. If a game doesn't sell well, it's someone else's fault. We've seen this happen several times, specifically on Nintendo consoles for some reason. The first game that comes to mind was Red Steel, which came out on the original Wii. If you don't remember, this was a launch title. This was a game that took advantage of the aiming capabilities of the Wii, so you'd have the nunchuck in one hand, you'd have the pointer, and the idea was you'd go around, you'd point, you'd shoot, it would be all very fluent. And there was also sword mechanics in it. By sword I mean there were certain scenes which you'd have a sword and be able to do sword fighting with the motion control. So down on paper it all sounded pretty good. This was a launch title, so we're all pretty happy with this. Now, long story short, this game didn't do so well. The controls were quite buggy, it wasn't fluent at all. The sword scenes were just not responsive at all. People would be sitting there swinging and it's not doing what they want. And also it was confined to just certain fight scenes. You couldn't go around the game and be like, yeah, I'm going to shoot, or you know what, I'll switch to the sword, sneak up on him and stab him. It's like, no, it was just specific fight scenes. It didn't work out at all. Overall, the game got 5, 6 out of 10. Like, it wasn't a very well received game, and that's just how it was. Now, reason why I bring this up is because it's a bit of a pattern from Ubisoft. Let's jump ahead now, and let's go to the Wii U. Okay, so another launch title, which is Zombie U, which came out. That game had a lot of premise and it was a great idea on paper. You know, a bit of a survival horror sort of game. You know, they integrated the gamepad, certain events. You had like a live GPS on it, which was pretty cool. You went around, you tried to survive an outbreak, and did have some nice twists. For example, if your character died, right, if you died, that was it. You lost that character. And that character, though, would then become a zombie. You'd become a new survivor, and you'd have to hunt down your old self to kill yourself and grab the gear that you once had. Very nice twist. Now the thing is, again, this game wasn't well received, and once again Ubisoft's was, oh, you know, you're just not really getting sales on the Wii U. There wasn't really much of an install base, which is absolute bogus. Yes, there isn't much of an install base. At that time anyway, but that doesn't mean that games won't do well. It didn't do well because, one, it had graphics which were on par with launch PS3 games. It was quite muddy. It didn't look that good, you know? If you can't make it look realistic, fine, at least then bring an art style of some sort which compensates for that. I mean, hell, go with cel shaded if need be. The game didn't look so good. The controls itself wasn't that thrilling either. To be honest, push aside that it was a Wii U exclusive title, you had a very, very average shooter, and there was a lot of bugs which needed to be fixed, and other things that just need to be done completely. One thing that comes to mind is the game supports melee attack, which is pretty cool. You can get like a cricket bat, you see a zombie, and you scream and you smash it. You know, you take him down, you hit him a few times, you know, and after a while though, you realise something really, really annoying. It's always the exact same swing. There's no variation. There was no control or just randomly does it different. It was the exact same swing. Same length, same time, and annoyingly every time you did swing you would hear and I'm not exaggerating, I know I sound demented, but that's how it sounded. Whoever you played as a man or woman, they would always scream every single time you're swinging it. And by the end, it was just irritating. Like, I actually ended up to stop using the melee weapons just because they do the exact same attack, which is effectiveness with range. Sometimes they would go down in 2 hits. Other times I had to hit them 10 times and hear them scream every single time. Reason number 2. Jumping back again to the original Wii. The original Wii's initial success and lifetime success came as a surprise to everyone, including many developers such as Ubisoft. So Ubisoft wanted to jump on this hype train and take advantage of this newly formed console, which had a huge market and not necessarily at that time many games. So what did Ubisoft decide to do? They decided to bring the original Far Cry. Which, you know, I was actually pretty excited about, to be honest, because Far Cry looks gorgeous on any platform, and since the Wii specs and the Xbox shared a lot of similarities, I expected that the Far Cry from the Xbox version would be ported over to the Wii, which, if you've seen pictures of the original Far Cry on the Xbox, you would understand it actually looked really good. This, combined with the promise of the motion controls to go along with it and the aim, it sounded really cool. What we got instead was a game which was 2 generations behind, and I'm not exaggerating. This here is a picture. This is what it actually looks like. This isn't a Photoshop, let's make it worse, let's make it look worse. This is actually what it was. This was a game which not only did not reach Wii standards, did not reach GameCube standards, did not even reach PS2 standards. This was a game which you couldn't decide if it belonged on the PS1 or if it belonged on the N64. This kicked up such a fuss that Ubisoft brought out such a poor excuse for a game that they actually admitted that they brought out a game which the quality may have been overlooked. While they're trying to get this game out as fast as possible. So they just admitted that, yeah, we brought this game out as quickly as possible, we didn't care how it looked, just as long as it was on the console. Now, that's a burn mark right there, Ubisoft. That is unacceptable. You're not a small third-party publisher. You're Ubisoft. You are huge. You didn't have to do that. Reason number 3. Watch Dogs on the PC, should have seen this coming, did not live up to the hype. This is another reason not to trust Ubisoft. They've done this before. They bring poor PC ports. You can look this up. There's been countless games which the PC versions are buggy, they don't run well, they're visually not where they're meant to be, and also you don't get the supporting patches which are required. So Ubisoft and PC, they're not really going together well. Huge concern with the piracy, with PC piracy. They're convinced the majority of games are pirated, and that as a result they're not investing as heavily into the PC version of their games as they should, because some of their developers have been even bold enough to say that they personally believe that up to 95% of people are just going to pirate the game anyway. Now it's quite ironic they're just pulling out these, statistics out of who knows where. That is just bogus, and that is just an excuse. They don't want to put the money into PC. They obviously for some reason don't think there's a big enough market and that we're not going to support it. What Ubisoft needs to understand, and what all the companies such as yourselves that sit there and look at these sales charts, and I know they have the ability to track how many times a game is pirated. Say you bring out a game and let's say 1 million people pirate the game, okay? They've pirated it. In your head, it's 1 million sales which you missed out on. No. The majority of them are kids that can't afford to go buy the game anyway, or adults that just pirate everything and will never go out there to buy it in the first place. You think by stopping the piracy they will go out and buy it? No. These are people that just pirate. They have a big internet download limit. Truth be told, if you know how to go about it, you can have a game in 5 to 10 minutes, fully downloaded. And it doesn't matter what security measures you bring out, someone will come up with a way to go around it. Now, I personally buy my games myself, but that's not the point, I know people that just go and pirate. And it isn't the game was too expensive at the store or whatever. They just have they're not interested in buying it. They download it because it's quick and it's easy. It's not a missed sale. The only missed sales you're getting is from the legit gamers such as myself that want to go out and buy your product, and we're very hesitant to do it because you seem to be doing a poor job. So let's get this straight. Because other people are doing dodgies, you're punishing those that actually go out and support you on the PC. That's what you're saying. You're not going to give us proper PC ports because of what others do. So because of what others do, and because of money you think you missed out on but you would have never gotten, people like me that go out, spend my hard-earned money and buy your games, we get stooge and take responsibility. That's not cool. Reason number 4, Uplay. I cannot stand it. Uplay takes up extra resources on your PC, okay? Let me put this in simple terms so people can understand. Say your computer is worth 100, right? Say it has 100 power points, and say you need, 60 to run the game. And then Uplay will add an extra 10 on it, right? 10, 15, whatever. It's extra resources. You're making our computers run harder to run these games because of your security. It's not security. It's very annoying, it's forced, it's unwanted, and it's the PC gamers that are paying the price with this. Also with online things such as this Ubisoft, you need to understand that whenever Uplay is down, we can't play our games. Okay? It's reliant on Uplay. If Uplay is having a bad day, I can't play. I've gone out, bought your game, supported you, and I can't play because of Uplay. That's unacceptable. There's also been security issues which have come up as well. Bad security issues. This happened a number of years ago where a hacker managed to get in Uplay and that would let them install things on our PC without us knowing, without our consent. You know, technically being able to steal credit card details, bank information. That's not cool. If we install Uplay because you force us, it is your responsibility to make sure that my personal details are safe, especially my money. I know I said I had 5 reasons. I actually merged reason 3 and 4 together, so I've ended up with 4. But they're my reasons why I'm quite hesitant with Ubisoft. Now I do want to do a little bit of damage control. I don't think they're a total failure, and there is certain games which I enjoy. I've enjoyed the Prince of Persia games. I thoroughly enjoyed Far Cry 3. I think that's a great game. I have my eyes keen on Far Cry 4. Not much of a fan of the Assassin's Creed games, but I have friends that do, and look, I can appreciate other people liking the game, even if I'm not into it myself. I can see how they can get into it. For me personally, it's just not my cup of tea. I have an issue with the controls. I can control it, it's not like I'm Unco. I just don't like it, you know, and to be honest, once I get used to the controls, then it's too easy. Then it's very easy, just go stealth kill. And you know, I'm a street fighter, right? So like I've played the game a lot, I'm used to counters. I'll play any Assassin's Creed game, and if anyone tries to attack me, for me it's way too easy to pull off a counter. Like I don't even bother stealth, I just walk around, someone attack me, like there's no point, it gets a bit boring. Alright, so that were my reasons why I personally don't trust Ubisoft. There's certain things they do which I really don't like. I think they're shifty, I think they don't take responsibility, I think they blame things on others, you know? And the whole, I see it as a lack of support for PC gamers. Bad, dodgy versions, weak, or once upon a time forced DRM, thank goodness they got rid of that. And also this unwanted Uplay which I have to put up with. Very annoying. Otherwise, as a company as a whole, I look forward to games they do release. And as far as PC versions go, I hope they improve. And as far as gaming consoles go, seriously, Ubisoft, whether it's Nintendo or it's someone else, if your game doesn't sell well, don't make excuses. Step it up, do a better job. Zombie U didn't do good, right? Yeah, because it was a very average muddy shooter. Nice premises, very average. Okay, it didn't sell well, step it up. Do a better job, okay? Don't be a kid. You don't do a good job, that's what happens. It's a business, you know how it is, don't blame others. You didn't do a good job. Put Zombie U on the PS4. Do it. Put Zombie U on the PS4 and the Xbox One where they have a huge audience, and even put it on PC. Guess what? It's still going to sell. Now, you've been watching Gamers Treehouse. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment below. These have been it was meant to be 5 but ended up being 4 reasons why I don't trust Ubisoft. And otherwise, thanks for your time today, guys.